This thing off, I guess.
Yep.
Welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for the town of Southwick on October 26th, 2020. The time is 7:16.
Walk away, tell someone. Walk away, tell
And
someone. So he ain't fixed.
so-
You're right. If you walk away and come back, I haven't experienced it. You tell the coaches,
If whoever's talking, if they can mute their microphone.
All right, in attendance, we have Bill Liss, Chris Mastriani, Mike Parent, Tom Stapleton, Paul Gregoire, and Wendy kind of listening in on the phone. And I'm showing some weird thing here. Phone is on or something or other. I have no idea what that is.
That's me.
Somebody dialed into the meeting versus going in. You can dial into the meeting.
That's probably Tom.
No, I see Tom right there.
No, I know, but he dialed in separately too.
I wanted stereo.
Yeah.
It's a 207 number.
That's
Yeah.
Norm Cheever.
Let's rock. Let's go.
All right, so first thing on the docket is 106
Yeah,
Berkshire, I guess.
Yep.
And I see Vitaly's here.
He was.
Yep.
There he is.
I'm here. I don't know. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yep, yeah, we got you.
Okay.
All right, so we, oh, here I am. What the heck is this thing keeps popping up with this phone thing? Yeah, it's a 207 number, like you said, but who is it?
It's Norm Cheever.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
For some reason.
I am in on audio and visual because I have speaker problems on my computer.
Gotcha.
All right, well, we don't see you on the visual.
I'm up. I am there. Norm
see
C.
We see your phone number only, so.
Top left.
There he is.
Top left. He's up to the top left.
I see him. Yep.
Yeah, you guys can see him, I can't.
Well, because you see he's out there.
All right, I got him now.
Good.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Very good.
All right,
So-
Paul, I'm here too.
All
All right,
right,
Wendy.
we're all there. Yay. So anyway, we were just about to talk to Vitaly about the fact that we extended the meeting till tonight so that he could look up some things that he wanted to check with his legal staff, et cetera, et cetera. So Vitaly, where do we stand?
So a couple things, and we've gone through it. So the issue that we had last time was that that there's a water line that goes through the back of the property.
Yeah.
So a couple things after talking to
Hello?
I'm losing him.
You're freezing up, Vitaly. Talk a little slower.
attorneys, based that it wasn't disclosed, that it's not an actual. Hello.
Yeah, we catch you in and out.
Okay. Let me see if I move around a little bit. I'm scheduled to teach a
That's
class.
good right
So,
there. That's good right there.
you know, 1 second.
Stay right there. That's
Good.
You're coming good.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
That's good.
All right. So it's so basically that easement in the back. It actually runs through the it starts on the other side, the neighbor next door. And it goes through the back. It's nowhere near where we're actually going to be digging for the foundation. It's about 12 feet away from the closest point. And the other piece to that also, like the attorney said, it's not illegal. There was never permission granted for that as well. And Mark Baglin, the town attorney, knows about it as well. So as far as that, it was, and I talked to Roger about it today too, and he said the same thing, that it shouldn't be an issue. It wasn't an issue the last time when he got approvals for it, because there's a couple different things with it. if for some reason, say the excavator ended up hitting the easement there back there, we would repair. Two, we have the option of actually moving it, because it's on our property, and it's not supposed to be there. That was granted without there's no recording of it. That's why when we bought the property, it wasn't, my attorney didn't even, it wasn't disclosed and they didn't find it. So, we went back, and after I talked to Roger too, obviously, I told him I just want to, get this approved, and just like he did the first time, and I don't want to go back, and because the attorney suggested, my attorney called their attorney, and obviously the association would have to take the lot back and pay us for the damages because they didn't disclose that in the meantime. But Roger did say that it's not something that where the house is really close to it. When he went before the board, I guess you guys discussed that already, and the plan that was approved is exactly what we're asking, to be essentially reapproved. The other thing he brought up too is with the town, when they paved, part of it was they were, when the town put in the road, they actually went 2 feet onto the property there. Now it doesn't affect the house or where the house is going to be, but part of what they talked about with the old building inspector Art and Mark Baglin was that they granted the town that permission with the idea that it was going to be a non-issue as far as getting this, the current or the plan that was approved, getting that reapproved. So that, there isn't, I know we left off last time, the big issue was the concern was that back line, where the water line crosses through the property.
Yeah,
And
that was part of it.
That's what I gathered.
Hey, Bill, could you bring us up to speed on where we are? I don't really know where this conversation goes. Just a minute to see what are we talking about here? Did you guys already approve this?
No,
Okay.
it was about 4 years ago.
It was approved a couple of years ago.
Okay.
But Vitaly, the other thing that we brought out to light was there's another easement that was granted in January of this year that took some more of the land on the front corner.
Correct. So this is the part where the town screwed up, and was one of these things where they could have sued the town and Mark Baglin, and but they came to terms where it wasn't going to affect this building, the building of what was approved. It wasn't going to affect it, but in return, they granted easement to the town for the 2 feet. When the town did the road, they actually went 2 feet onto the property. And so that's the easement that is on file, and it was granted to the town. And they promised him that it wasn't going to affect what was already approved as far as the building. And it doesn't really affect it because we're still 25 feet away as far as where we're putting the building. We still meet all that. The other piece to this is Brighton is a private way as well. Roger said to bring that up as well, that Brighton is a private way. So we do have the garages where it won't really affect it, but Brighton is a private way there. So it shouldn't be something that the town can really say yes or no to. But with that said, we're meeting the requirements as it is in terms of that setback there.
Vitaly.
Yeah.
You said that you 4 years ago, I gathered that this was pitched and approved by this board. And if that's true,
I believe it was 2 years ago.
okay.
It was 4 years ago.
Was it 4 years ago? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Now I may have been. Is this the same? Let me ask a question over that. So is this the drawing that was given to the board at that time?
What I was told.
No.
We lost them. Is this the same drawing we saw last time?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
No, it's a different
that was
building.
part of the skin is exactly the same. What's that? It's the identical footprint, correct? Are you there?
Yeah, I heard you. Thank you.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Yeah, it's the it's the exact
Vitaly,
footprint, same
let me
setback.
ask another question.
Yes.
So you want to obviously change the footprint for the new foundation because it's more, the one that you have there, you claim it's pretty toxic because you have asbestos and such.
No, Tom, you're on the wrong case.
Okay, sorry. Okay, my bad.
That's Wood Road, yes, later.
So, but see, this is a non-compliant lot. He's changing the footprint dramatically from a non-compliant lot, right? Isn't that what's happening?
There's nothing on the lot
More
now.
non-compliant?
The lot is empty right now. And in November of 2016, we approved the plan for a 31 by 51 single-story house with a one-car garage.
Okay.
The proposal now is for a raised ranch with a two-car garage. So the fact that we approved it before doesn't really have a lot of as much bearing on it as everyone seems to think.
Okay.
Well, the approval is actually for the setbacks and the footprint. In terms of the style of the home, that from what I was told, that has nothing to do with what the board is. It's the footprint that we're trying to approve. I was told you can, as long as you meet the building guidelines, you can build a 3-car garage.
Vitaly,
Yes.
you have to understand, you're right. For a dimensional variance, it's very much about the footprint, and you're asking to be excused, and so there's that. But then also, we must understand there's impact to the neighborhood, aesthetics, harmony. It's all part of, we look at that. And being so close to the water, you have to be cognizant that if you go up an extra story, what does that do to the does that impact the neighbor's situation? I would ask. That's, I would ask that. And if there's no.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Vitaly, though, you said it was the same print, and it's not. Once we looked into it, it's different.
You
have to be upfront with us.
There is. No. It's the same. Here's when correct me if I'm wrong, but when you go before the board, we're asking here for a variance on the footprint. We're trying to get the actual footprint exactly what was approved to be reapproved. And I know in terms of the style of the home, from what I was told, as long as the driveway stays in the same spot, and this was more of the building inspector, as long as it stays in the same spot, and you're asking for the same thing in terms of, if we're not moving the driveway, in terms of the style of the home, and that it has, from what I was told, it has nothing to do with this particular meeting. Because you
keep saying I was told. Who told you?
Plus the other thing, Vitaly, a variance is for 1 year. If you don't do anything within the 1 year, that variance is completely gone. It's wiped off the books. So you didn't do anything there within a year. No one did anything within a year. So you keep saying because we approved it 4 years ago, it should still be approved. But it was only that moment and that day and that time that we approved it for a year.
Correct. But as far as what was it? So here's what was approved, and this is kind of how I see that. If we're not asking for anything that's different in terms of where the house sits, the layout of the house, nothing. We're not asking, and this was when I spoke to Roger. This was part of this whole thing, because this is how it'll work backwards. Say that it gets denied, I end up having, and this is the attorney already agreed that the association for the lake there, they'll already, because obviously they didn't disclose that the easement there. So that as far as that goes, they've already agreed. Well, he's already, obviously they're not going to fight me in the lawsuit because there is nothing to fight about. Now they'll go, the town of Suffield basically, or I'm sorry, the town of Southwick has already said that it's when Mark Bagley and Art was the old building inspector, when they signed off on it and they granted the easement, it was not supposed to affect what was already approved in terms of, so what will end up happening is then the association will have to file a lawsuit against the town because it was already approved. We're not changing anything, yet the easement was granted to Mark Baglin and the town got the easement, but yet now they're no longer allowed something that the association didn't get compensated for that easement. That was just a screw up on the town's part when they paved that road. And so it's one of these things where we're not asking for anything that wasn't already done. We're basically asking for exactly what was already approved in the past. And my question is, what's changed? Nothing has changed. And the only thing that has changed is what Mark Bagley in the town has already said that wouldn't affect the buildability of this lot.
But you can build on
So
the lot,
it's,
correct? That's what he's saying. Won't affect buildability, but it could affect the footprint. I mean, we're starting from scratch here. Like Meg Perrin just pointed out.
Oh no, I understand that, but we're
starting
but here's we're asking for the same exact nut. There isn't any variation to what-
Vitaly, excuse me.
Yes. Yes.
This, I don't know if you guys saw this last time we met before. Is this the first time you guys saw this whole pitch? Have you guys seen this before?
We heard it a couple of weeks back.
Okay. So all I'm saying, all right, then I'm catching up, and forgive me for that. But what has to happen here is what I'm hearing from the board, Vitaly, is that you're presenting an argument and you're being very, very strong about it. And I think if you just let these guys, digest it, and we're rational people, and it's our job to understand what's going on in the town and make a prudent decision based on what we know. So, you don't sue the town. First of all, you go to the court and go to court and sue them and contest. So you don't sue the town if you don't like our answer. So I don't say that. I mean, just relax and let us do our job.
No, I don't.
That's all. No, it's okay. I got you, man. Let us talk for a minute. Let us talk for a minute.
I hated even calling.
It's okay. It's okay. So,
okay.
What do you want to do here?
Okay.
Who are you talking to, Tom?
You, Paul. I don't know where this meeting is going.
The board members. All right. As Mike pointed out, nothing was done. They had a year. Nothing was done. This property is vacant. The only thing that's changed that we can see is that the town has taken an easement on the corner of the property. That cuts it off as far as I'm concerned. You can't put that house in the same spot as we had talked about 4 years ago, which is what Vitaly wants to do.
Okay, what do we think?
Well, that's what I think. You can't put it there.
Is there another way to work it, Paul?
You'd have to back it up quite a bit, and that's not going to allow the same size house. Plus, as we mentioned before, we were looking at a one-story house in order to fit in with the community. They're wanting to do
Raised ranch.
a raised ranch. Thank you, Mike. Raised ranch, which means it's going to go up higher than the one story we talked about. At this point, I see this piece of property good for putting a trailer on there for the summer. That's what I'm seeing right now. It's personal opinion. I mean,
All right, I'm back.
Anybody else have any comments? Bill?
No,
Bill, you mentioned that easement.
Can I just comment on that?
That's the big problem is the easement on the corner.
well, there's an additional piece of land cut off of this already small land with not much footprint to work with, you know what I mean? I just see it as problematic.
I certainly do.
So help me out then. That 20-foot setback from the back, what is that now with this new easement? What has that been reduced to?
1 foot? No, you're on the wrong one. You're on the wood.
I'm sorry.
That's all
Well,
right.
it's the one that comes up.
The drawings were put up there a month ago, so that's what you're fighting, Tom. Sorry.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry. Well, what is the setback then from the easement? What is it now?
Scratch this out on a piece of paper for yourself. The lot is 60 by 100.
Okay.
And the 60 is on Berkshire and the 100 is on Brayton.
Okay.
which they claim is not a town road at all. Of course, the town maintains it, but it's not a town road. So
Okay, anyway, I guess.
I'm not sure about that myself. I'd have to investigate that part.
It comes up in the, if you search the vision tax properties, that's a viable road comes up.
Viable road, okay. Now, Tom, on that corner where Berkshire and Brayton come together, the town has taken an easement because they run a sewer line through there. So they've cut off a good piece of that corner.
2 feet.
Is this the house right in the corner that a woman wanted to put a ranch on?
Yes.
And wasn't she with her parents or something? Is that the same property?
That was the application 4 years ago, yes. This is
Okay.
a
I remember
different
her. Yeah,
applicant.
she was, I want to say, without any prejudice, I think it was a Russian or from Eastern Europe, well, woman, she had an accent. I remember that, right? Not that it matters, but so we worked out that agreement, and it was something in the back corner, yeah?
Yeah, I thought you'd get back to it because you were on the board back then.
I
So.
got it now. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong picture. I didn't understand what the heck we were talking about.
No
The
wonder.
husband and wife were gonna have the father live with them, and we
Yeah.
talked about
We flipped the
putting
whole
a
house.
ramp.
We
A ramp
had to move we had to change the whole structure. To
Yep.
deal with the, yeah.
Okay, you're back on track here. That's great. But the problem that we're seeing now is that the 60 by 100 is no longer 60 by 100.
What is it now?
Well,
2 feet.
that corner is cut off, and I don't know quite how much it is.
What do you
Vitaly
think,
said
Bill?
2 feet. I don't know.
It's
What do you think?
the actual lot size stayed the same, but they had to, well, after they paved it, there's 2 feet that they actually, it's a foot. It's just over 1.5 feet that the town paved on the property there. So it's it still leaves the setback. It's still over 20 feet in terms of the setback, which, I mean, Rob Levesque, you looked at this thing the same way, and I mean, it's not going to affect. That's why he recommended that that the association just give this to the town. But part of this is if this gets denied and these people from the association granted this to the town, and now the association is going to lose all this money. It's that what has changed is the town screwed up and they put 2 feet on the lot.
And they
now
can sue the town then.
and especially there's stuff in the language, and this discussion with Mark Baglin was such that we're not going to give you a hard time about this, but we need to, give us the legal 2 feet of easement. And that's why, when I said this to Rod, I mean, the first thing he kind of got upset about it too. How can they do this? This should have just been, because it was something that was promised to the association in a sense where we screwed up, the town screwed up with our 2 feet, but it shouldn't, the town screwed up. They were nice enough to just grant them for no cost the 2 feet, and now
So,
it's the buildability of the lot.
Vitality,
You know what I mean?
do I
Yes.
understand then the easement is only 2 feet, Paul? Is that what you're talking about?
Less than 2 feet, yes.
Is that right, Paul?
I don't know. Bill,
It's less than
you
2
have
feet. Yeah.
documentation on that. I don't.
I have the easement in front of me, and I know this is all in fractions of degrees or something, but let me just kind of paraphrase what the easement says. And I think it has to end up, unless they made the easement bigger than it really needs to be, I think it's bigger than what is perceived it is.
Right.
It says the lot running south some direction along said land and Berkshire Avenue as shown on plan, a distance of 17 feet to a point, then turning on said land of that property, turns towards the north and then goes 29 feet to a point on Berkshire Avenue on said plan, then turns again, runs along Berkshire Avenue for 23 feet. So that sounds to me like it's a 23 by 29 by 16 triangle.
Yeah.
So I think that has to, unless the easement is for more than what overlaps with the property at 106, there's another discrepancy in here.
Yeah.
So that's the width.
I think the point is not just this easement. He's putting a whole different house there than we had originally approved 4 years ago.
No, I never agreed to put a house of any sort on there.
That's not what we heard, Vitali. It was, I could almost draw you a picture of it right now because we talked about it so much. It was a small
I
ranch with a,
suggested it, but that was a suggestion.
no, I'm just saying,
open
well,
to,
no, time out. To the previous, from Mike Parent's comment was that, you know, you're right, the house, you're right about what you said earlier about the style is not really under our purview. But because that lot is so precarious, it sticks out into traffic. There's lights coming into the house. We're very concerned about a lot. The driveway you mentioned earlier, that became a real safety concern to this board. So it's not your normal, you know, I need 12 feet. Okay, here you go. There was more to us than that. So I remember, I mean, right, Paul, didn't we talk an awful lot about safety? I think we had the safety come in and visit our board. I think at that. We did a lot of work there, Vitaly, to make this safe and secure.
Yeah.
It sits.
Yep. Roger did say that. You guys did do a lot of work, but that's why he suggested I come with exactly what you guys already looked at and approved, and that's what his suggestion was. And he did say that you guys looked at it, and that was the that was kind of the recommendation. There were some things that were moved around.
You know, it's funny. I don't know what you guys have for Bill and Chris and everybody. What you guys have for documentation on this? Because I don't have it on my screen. Do you have an elevation shot of the house, or do you have a plot plan that's properly delineated with dimensions and such? Do you have all that?
Oh, we did not receive anything. And as far as what Roger Cataldo has, Roger's got his own agenda here. The association is trying to get rid of this piece of property because it's costing them tax money. And so he's happy to sell it. He wants to sell it. But that's where he's coming from. So therefore, he's...
Well, and they've paid for it as a buildable lot all these years too, which, you know, they paid the taxes on it. They've paid for the betterment fee. You know, they've done all the things that the town has asked in terms of paying for it as a buildable lot. The association did.
Vitaly, it may be true that it is a buildable lot, but it's just this house on that lot that we have the concern for.
Oh, a lot of things. That easement doesn't lay out, it gives a lot of dimensions, but it's a large piece of that land across that corner. Just the way it's described and running, it could be 3 feet, could be 2 feet, but it takes a volume off the land.
Why is that easement there? Is there something under the ground? That's a big piece of property, 23 feet by 17 by 20 or something. That's
It's
says
a
sewer
line.
Sewer line.
sewer line. Okay.
And then there's a water line in the back of the property.
Okay.
Bill, I just saw you waving
For
that
the pavement.
paper with the drawing on it.
Yeah, hey,
They
Tom,
accidentally paved it.
You can show
Tommy,
Tom.
can you see this?
Yep. I see it. I
That's
got it.
the rendering sketch that we were looking at.
Okay. Yep. And the driveway, Vitaly said the driveway's in the same place?
Maybe you want to turn it the other way, Bill, so you can see it. See the whole.
I got it.
There's Brayton's on the top.
Raise it up a little more.
Is that to any, Bill, is that to any scale or is that just a rough sketch?
Rough sketch. So this is Brayton Drive up here. Here's Berkshire on this side.
Yep, got it. All right.
Okay.
So I think the point is, like, if you built a 2-bedroom with a 1-car garage, it is a buildable lot, but not this house.
What are the overall dimensions of that house? That like X and Y, like 32 by 28 or?
We've got on here,
31 by 53.
yep, 31 by 53.
And including a garage?
That includes,
Single-car garage.
yes.
But the variances here would be outrageous. I mean, I know we originally talked
1,600 square foot.
we had talked about the 30 feet from the front line, and that's ludicrous. I mean, there's no other house on the property on the line on the street that has only 30 feet to the front line.
There's a lot of them. There's multiple houses with that setback.
Oh, I haven't seen them, but I'll take your word for it. I'm not gonna argue.
There's quite a few that have smaller setbacks too.
Did we include a one-car garage or a two-car garage last time?
One,
Car.
One.
All right. Vitaly, think about that. Maybe a one-car garage would improve your story a little.
Yeah, I'm okay with doing that. It's so if you know, I'm okay with doing a one-car garage. If, you know, I was just thinking because so the current garage, the way that it's designed now, it's 16 feet wide. If you did a 20-foot wide, you could do it a two-car garage, which, you know, this way people aren't parking on the street there or on the corner. So I just figured give them, you know, create a little bit more parking on the actual lot.
51 feet is
space for it.
Vitaly, 51 feet is a long structure.
Yeah.
In that little postage stamp of a lot, you know.
I mean, you know, it is. You're right. But most of the, not most, but there's about, I would, if I had to guess, probably about 20% of the houses are built with small. This type of setbacks are smaller. There's a lot of small lots in that area, and it's very similar to the neighborhood in terms of the. You know, you got a lot of little ranches there and little homes there with a one-car garage. The only reason if you guys want the one-car garage, we can do that. I don't mind.
So
Yeah.
good, that's good, because I remember last time we spoke, we actually, I think, Paul, we actually narrowed down one side to expand the yard and the other side to make, you know, so we kind of shoehorned it in as best we could. So adding 12 or 14 feet, whatever you're adding, is actually a significant difference.
I didn't add any. Like I said, I didn't add anything to that plan that you have there. I didn't add anything to it.
The previous one is 51 feet long.
We're using exactly every dimension as was, and part of that being obviously because if for some reason this doesn't work out, it's not, nothing has changed, and it's not our fault or the association's fault that the town took 2 feet when they promised them Mark Bagling. They promised them that this wouldn't affect anything. Well, now it's affecting something. So this is a problem it's a problem for all of us if it does, because we're not, you know, you look at some of the other stuff, and Rob Levesque was out there too. He goes, these are small grandfathered lots. There's a bunch of them in this area. And this is your typical 60 by 100 square foot small lot for a small house.
Chris.
You know, and you know, you're probably right. A one-car garage, we can, you know, I was just going to take a little bit away from the house, an extra 4 feet, not change the footprint at all, just the actual footprint, take 4 feet away from the house, just so people can actually not have to park on anywhere around that bend, but that they could park 2 cars in front of the house. It's 20 feet deep. So that if that's an issue, I mean, that's, we can change that, but it just, to me, to be able to park in the driveway 2 cars versus 1. I think it's more beneficial.
So Vitaly, what's the dimension on your garage across the front?
So currently it's 16 by 20 over there. Let me just pull that up. So I was just gonna take 4 feet away from the house to make that a 2-car garage, so that it's 20 by 20 in terms of the parking in front. This way you can fit comfortably 2 cars in the garage and 2 cars in the actual house, you know, in terms of the actual plan there.
So,
but
the living space is not cut off.
you know, I'm open to whatever you guys think.
Chris, are you still there?
I'm open to doing it the way that.
Let me ask Chris a question.
Yeah.
You would have some drawings there showing what the other houses along that street are as far as distance from the street line?
I can look at it on my screen here. They're all pretty tight. We know what it's like down in there. The one that's right next door at 108 is about about 30 feet. 108 is about 30 feet from its property line. Nobody knows where the road is. But you know, the way it all twists and turns there, it's difficult to say who's far away from what. But across the street from 108, it's about 30. They're about 30 feet.
Okay.
I would guess that at the very least, Vitale would have to come up with a new drawing to a reduced size home on that lot. And I don't think I'd be willing to say, okay, just us talking that he's going to reduce the size of it.
And one other thing too, looking at some notes, I thought when we talked about this, you're gonna look into the legal stuff that you had. But you said, I don't know if you mentioned it before, but was that lot surveyed before you bought it? And pinned?
The lot was surveyed, yeah. Yeah, there's actual pins on the back corner. Rob Levesque did the work there. And then the town after they messed up with the paving there, they actually resurveyed it. The town paid to get it resurveyed again because just to show the different property lines again and actually mark out that 2-foot easement that they.
As a board, I'd like to have that on record and have us see it.
There's only one pin, and it's in the back corner on Brayton Road.
The back corner, correct. Yeah, the back corner. But I mean,
Why is there only
you
one
got the
pin
fence
if
to the
everybody,
right there.
if
Well,
everybody
that's how they
surveyed it, how
survey.
come?
That's how they.
Yeah, well, let's get a copy
Well,
of that.
I would imagine that there's one that, I mean, I don't know how they do it. Levesque, I would imagine there's the one that's evidence, the one in the back corner, but you know, and if you add I know what you're saying with the setbacks. This is no different than what was been approved multiple times in that area.
It's
In
not
terms
that-
of setbacks, there's some that have had smaller setbacks approved in terms of that size. You know, you've got additions that were built with 6-foot setbacks.
When were they built? That's the question. I mean, we're on a whole new set of bylaws. here.
Correct, but this was within the last 10, 15 years for sure. Maybe even the last 5, because I've got to, because this was more so just with Rob, when Rob came out there, and this is Rob's association. So I mean, you guys know this too. I mean, you can, if you look from the aerial, you said it's pretty tight. A lot of those houses are tight. So we're not doing anything. What was approved before is pretty much what the neighborhood is as far as the sizes, the lots being grandfathered and small.
You just said
You
they've
know,
been.
not doing any kind of gigantic house on a small lot.
I think you're gonna do one thing or other, like to see the survey, but I think there's more to this than meets the eye.
Hey guys, this is Chris Thondor. I'm here with my mom Betty, and she just had a couple of thoughts on that property line on the side of 108 Berkshire.
Yep.
The last meeting we had in September, the tally was supposed to have a survey done so we could find where the line is.
Right.
And nothing's been done. So I don't
Well-
even know where that line is either. And I need to know that. And the house that size is too big for that property. It's too big. And there's
The
right now,
majority of that is
excuse me. Right now, we have a beautiful view of that awful curve. It's a safety issue. Right now, it's beautiful. Everybody's happy. We can see. But building what you want to build and you're leaving and you're going to put this house on the market, and I am going to have a problem trying to see. People are going to have a problem coming up from Brayton trying to take a right. It's going to be worse. And we need to know where that pin is between us. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty.
Let me make a suggestion. I agree, Paul, that I only saw one pin in a back corner. I think what we need to see is all 4 corners of the lot, stake out where the easement is, stake out where the water line is, and stake out where the house is proposed to go. And then we go and look at all these corners and areas and lines and get a better feel for that. Things look a lot different in person than they do on a hand-drawn sketch or on the computer screen where we don't really know where the corners are. That's the only way that I can get on board and have any chance of approving something is seeing it in person.
Well, seeing it in person, but also seeing the pins, because we don't know where that line is. That's a guess. Right now, it's a guess. I mean, you look at the tree line, you say, well, I think it's here, but then again, there was a fence over here, as I remember it. It's just, there's not any way of knowing where that line is. So I think Ms. Dondoros is correct that if someone had promised to survey that line, it hasn't been done.
No, I did not promise that. I did not make a promise to survey up the lot as far as an additional survey.
I said if somebody promised.
Yeah, you know what I mean, I understand this, but we're asking to spend thousands of dollars to do something so that the board, I'm familiar with maybe yes, maybe no, and to spend thousands of dollars, and then maybe we want to move it this way, and maybe we want to move it that way. It's not fair because of what has been approved there. This has been approved.
Forget what has been approved, Vitaly. Forget what's been approved, okay?
Well, that's,
I know you keep saying that.
So from scratch.
True.
what's changed? The town screwed up and put an easement? Because that's the only thing that's changed. That's not
All
fair
right,
to,
then.
it's
Talk
not
to the
fair to
town
the
then.
association. That's not fair to me. It's been approved. Most of the stuff in there has been, these have been the setbacks. You guys have approved smaller setbacks. You have set precedents in that neighborhood for smaller setbacks.
Nope,
And
no
all of a
such
sudden
thing in our
now,
board.
It was approved before and it's no longer approved. And you guys want somebody to just go out there and spend all this money because you can't see that on the aerial views that it's a 17 feet away from the road, and just to spend money out of the blue to see something maybe or may not be, when other people didn't have to do this when they went before this board, when you guys have approved things. Well, this lot was approved. We're not asking for anything, but there's been a precedent set by other approvals, and all of a sudden this is different because I'm going
Precedent does
before the
not
board.
exist, okay? Precedent does not exist. It's starting from scratch.
It's the same neighborhood. It's the same lots. So
Well,
there's very
stop talking
similar lots
precedent.
that you guys have granted. Was it because you knew the people? So there's
No.
favoritism there?
Slow down.
You know, that's what it's.
Well, it's not, Vitaly, wait a minute.
That's
Wait a minute.
That's
Wait,
nonsense.
slow down a minute. Okay. Again, here we go. Jeez, man, that was crazy. We're trying to understand. You heard with this woman, apparently she lives nearby, and she expressed a very valiant or strong point about the safety, which I mentioned 20 minutes ago was part of our previous conversation. And so when this property was granted variances, for at that time, 4 years ago, it was. And then a year, as Mike Parent said, a year goes by and it vanishes. So now, unfortunate for you, I understand your frustration. I truly do. But unfortunate for you, you're bringing this back to us, and you open up this whole can of worms, which was nothing simple. And you tell us about the similar lots, the precedents. My friend, this lot is unique, okay? And it takes us a great deal of consideration to get to the point where we're at. And you come in and expect us to just say, oh, well, we said it once before. It's nothing. That's not that easy. We have to understand what we're signing up for. It's our job. We're all volunteers here to ensure that the town of Suffolk is run properly from a land management perspective, based on the variances of dimensional concerns. That's what we do. So please, don't say that we're treating our friends better. You just insulted this whole board integrity. I take issue with that. Please don't say that. We're here to do the best job we can to come to a solution that will work for you and work for the neighbors and the town. Please understand that, my friend. Okay, I'm done.
This is Norm Cheever.
My concern is it's the same thing. Nothing's changed.
But Vitaly, you have a choice
Yes.
of either having this delayed and doing what we ask you, or we could vote on it tonight. And if we vote on it tonight and it gets refused, then you can't try to bring this up for 2 years. That's your choice.
Michael, so the last meeting, the concern was that back. So we needed this. There was no issues with anything else. It was that back sewer line, which was already existing when it was approved the last time. That was the concern. The stakeout. But I never agreed to pay thousands of dollars to have this staked out, the house staked out, to maybe for somebody else to come up with something new. That's not normally required. I mean, what's required? I've submitted what was
How
required.
about a scale, could we have a scale drawing?
And I'm,
Tally, could we have a scaled
what's
drawing?
that?
Could we have a scaled drawing?
Do I have a what?
A scaled,
No, because it's a,
not a sketch.
no, I have the same, I have the same exact drawing, which I submitted, which was submitted last time. Nobody asked for a scale drawing that time. But now you, and the drawing is pretty
I'm just
simple. It's a
trying- dude, I'm just
65 by
trying to-
100 lot.
But I'm just trying to catch up to where we are, you know, and I'm saying, they asked you to put down surveyor stakes, and as a compromise, if there were a better drawing, that would be helpful. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on.
Yeah, but there are surveys.
I have a question.
There is a back surveyor stake, and there is a pin. If somebody wants to dig out the pin, I'm sure when Rob Levesque did that, they're professionals. And when the town hired them to do this, because the association did the town a favor by letting them just take that. That could have been easily. So now when this gets denied, the only thing that has changed is that from the last time to this time is the town and the association was nice enough to give them that easement with the promise that they wouldn't get screwed over. Well, now they're getting screwed over.
Vitaly.
And now you're asking me to spend thousands of dollars on
Hold
something
on.
that, well, maybe it'll get approved, maybe, or the association. We're not changing anything. Do you want to have the same exact house built? We'll build the same exact
Vitaly,
house.
hold on.
We're not changing anything.
Vitaly,
Yes.
I asked the question a few
Yes.
minutes ago, okay, before your rant. Was this property surveyed recent? You said yes a couple times. Who has that survey? Who surveyed it? Rob Levesque?
The town has the survey so when you get an easement, you have to have the survey done.
That's
From
what
I
I'm
was
asking.
told
So,
is
so the town
needs to
should have it. So
Rob Levesque
you get a copy of that, Paul. Town should produce a copy of that. That'll show the easement. Correct?
It should show all four corners and the easement and show how much it's taken off.
That's what I think we need to see. That's all we're asking.
So who's got it is the question.
He said the town.
Well, he just
Who's that, Grinnell?
read out what the easement looks like.
Levesque should have a copy of it.
Levesque, the town, and I believe it gets recorded. The actual plan gets
Correct.
recorded for an easement.
Well, the easement's recorded, no doubt about it. What I'm saying is the survey is not recorded. The survey is a copy of them pinning the yard out, pinning the land and showing that easement on the property. That's what we should see. That's what I'm asking for. That's what we asked for last meeting. I think it was how it was surveyed.
It did not.
Sounds like the association should be stepping
You
in to
asked,
do that.
you asked me if the property was surveyed, and I said it was surveyed because it was surveyed, and the town paid to have that surveyed.
Okay,
But you didn't ask, it's like,
okay.
it wasn't asked of, and I'm doing everything I could. I was promised one thing, and now you're backing me into a corner to say, just you sue them, they're sue them. And because it's wrong, it's wrong. The town, when something's approved and the town attorney says, oh, Mark Bagelin says, yeah, well, our town, we messed up, our pavers messed up. So nothing has changed except it's not going to affect your buildability at all. But now all of a sudden, it affects.
Is that in writing,
So we're
Vitaly?
just saying, you're basically saying, let's go. Because I'm not asking for anything different. I'm not.
But what you're giving us is hearsay. You would have to show us that in writing, that the attorney said that.
Right.
Otherwise, you've quoted a whole bunch of people, but you didn't mention their name.
Anything that wasn't
You didn't say
already.
it in writing.
Okay, so the easement was granted for $0. The association they should have never granted that easement. It should have said, you guys put it in, rip your sewer out, but instead and maybe Mark Bagelin should be at this meeting because maybe that's what the issue is. Because this is, if the association's nice enough to grant that and everything was approved before, and all of a sudden it's the same, and a lot of you guys were there to approve it. You've looked at it. What's changed? So now you're asking for additional information. I would understand it if something changed. If say the ordinances, say the bylaw, the neighborhood changed. Nothing has changed since that last approval in terms of just that would have.
I will
any
put
sort
my
of
reputation
impact
on that.
except
It
that
has
2 feet.
changed because there's a new easement that was granted, whether the town did it or not.
I just
This
said that
board is
except
looking
the
at a
2 feet.
different petition than it did 4 years ago with the design of the house, with an added easement. So yes, the whole thing is different. Whether you like it or not, it's another story, but it is a different
with the 2-foot
petition
easement.
put to this board. And we're trying to work through it, but I will not be pushed to the corner that we're not doing our job. We are vetting this out the best we can, but without documentation, written stuff from lawyers, we are our suspect if we agree to it. We haven't done our homework. We're asking you as the buyer or the owner to produce the paperwork that shows that this non-conforming lot has somebody's agreement that can be built on for the footprint you're asking, with no questions from the town, no questions from the attorneys, no questions from safety. It is a very unique lot, as my colleague Tom said. We did this once before, 4 years ago, and it took a long time to get there, but now it's a different petition. End of story.
I think we've gone around chasing our tail on this long enough.
And you're right,
I know
it's a
we have
different
another
petition, but
gentleman
only-
waiting. We need to come to some resolution or continue it again.
Norm Cheever would like to make a couple comments.
All right, go ahead, Norm, sorry.
Please do, sir.
Thank you. Number one, Betty mentioned it, and I mentioned it 2 weeks ago, is safety. If you're coming westerly on Brayton Drive up the hill, and you want to take a left and go south on Berkshire Avenue, this house will probably block your vision on Berkshire Avenue coming from the north. I would like to recommend that the board fully understands where this house is going to be located and how much of the view is it going to take away, because I think this is a serious safety problem. That stop sign on Brayton Avenue is way down the hill. That's number one. Number two, the owner of one Brayton last time mentioned where's the hardship. And I believe that a board member said that we don't have to have a hardship. And I wanted to make it,
No,
or
you need a
disagree with
hardship.
that when you go onto the southwick.org website under Board of Appeals, it tells you an applicant must prove a hardship in order to receive a variance from the board.
That is correct.
And then also under the town bylaws 185-41 Board of Appeals, under B3, it says literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would involve substantial hardship. So I wanted to emphasize that the applicant has to prove a hardship. And my third and last point, if you haven't been to the property in the last 10 days, the property has been raped. 22 trees have been removed, and 2 of them were over 40 inches in diameter.
Thank you, Norm.
Well, it looks like there's a lot of negativity here. I don't know really how to proceed. If we vote on it tonight and vote no, as Vitaly says, then he's got a problem, which gets passed on to the association, and I could care less. Then they've got a problem with the town, whatever. It's not my problem. Sorry to be so blunt, but that's the way I see it.
Maybe, I think Vitaly, it would be best for you not to ask us to vote tonight on this, because I don't think it would end where you want it to. So I would suggest, could we maybe pull in the safety officer again? I mean, unfortunately, Vitaly, there's 2 neighbors that spoke very strongly about the safety concerns. So I think it's due process, unfortunate for you, because I understand your frustration, but if we get the safety officer to come revisit it, is that a, think about that?
That's just one item. The other item is we still want to see some recordings of that property lines. As the boundary lines, that's the way they exist. Someone has to
Yeah,
come up
the
with that.
survey that has been done, would be nice to see a copy of that.
Also, Vitaly gave reference to several people and quoted several people. And as far as I'm concerned, that's just hearsay. I would like to see the things he quoted in writing from that person. If in fact, they quoted, he's quoting them correctly.
Well, are we more interested, Mike, in getting the, I mean, what's the end to that? Do we really want to learn what the easement dimensions are? I mean, I guess, Vitaly, I know you don't have a scale drawing. That's unfortunate, but it would have been nice to be actually, do we have all dimensions, Chris, that easement? If you forward that to me, I can maybe make up a drawing for us. I don't know. I'll try.
But what's that? There is actually, I mean, you have to have, when you file the easement on record and Mark Baglin records it, it has to have an actual official site plan with
Yeah,
the
we don't have it,
easement,
though.
and it shows right on the map, which
And
Rob
who
will
could
back
get
up.
that? Who could get that for us? Anyone have any idea how we could get that?
I mean, that's
Okay.
something that it should be public record, but the town also has it, and it should be normally when you record it. And I might be wrong, but normally when you record that has to be part of the recording. It should be public record. If it's not, the town would definitely have that, because it's something that, obviously it's something that was wrong, that had to be done, and the association had to.
Okay,
So I
Vitaly,
mean, we're at a point, I just don't know,
let me
obviously.
make a suggestion. Vitaly, let me make a
Yeah.
suggestion. So, well, I think that if you could, I think a safety officer should weigh in on this. I really do believe that. And I think that if you get a survey recent, and whatever you can do with that front would help your story. And thirdly, I think you're right. It is public knowledge, and try to go to the town hall and get that documentation. If you can come back with some, I know you don't want to tell a story, things have been approved, but I think that you really need to present a little bit more of a, and then, what Norm said in the corner, we didn't even get to the hardship yet. That's a whole other can of worms.
That's already been proved. The hardship.
Okay, I don't present it now. I'm giving you I'm telling you what has to happen here.
Well, the definition of the hardship, if you know what it's if a lot is created a certain way, that is the topography of a lot. There's a whole thing on it. The way the lot is originally created.
It's
that
very
is a hardship.
complex. It's not, none of that is, it's very hard. Hardships are difficult to, so if you
And
want
obviously it's been
compensation-
proven if it got approved before. I mean,
All right.
it's,
Talked about it before, all right?
well,
We're starting from
It's-
scratch.
how can something get approved twice when nothing's changed except the
Never
city's
been
screw
approved
up?
twice, I'm sorry.
Are we past this yet, Vitaly?
Vitaly, here's our quandary. From the time you enter that, we have 75 days to deal with it, unless you ask us for an extension. Either
We're
we're
gonna have to
vote
get an
on it.
extension. I'm not going through any more of these meetings. I'll get, the attorneys will have to deal with this. But I do want to get an extension. I'm gonna let them deal with it, whether we do a subpoena on however they want to do it, because that seems to be, I feel like I'm getting bullied here, and I am getting bullied here. This is 100%. It's just wrong on every level. What is from the board member in court, because of something's going on here. I don't know what the underlying issue here, but how can the town mess something up that was already approved? I know what you got. You're questioning the bend. Let me finish.
It
speaking,
wasn't,
please.
but listen, it wasn't
You're
us.
questioning the bend, the visibility. That was already part of that. Nothing. I haven't changed the 17 feet that it's set back. 17 feet from the stop line is plenty visibility, but I haven't changed anything that was already approved. This is where something is off here, and my attorney suggested not to even waste time and just go through whatever needed to be gone. And we're just, we're not. I'm not getting anywhere. This is tech
Vitaly, would you
meeting. I was under the impression the only thing that was an issue was the back piece.
do
Now
me a
there's
favor?
a million other issues that was.
Vitaly, do me a favor. If you're going to talk to your lawyer, that's perfectly within your purview. Please,
It's Mark Bagley. I'm not worried. It's
Okay,
not so
let
much
me
my
finish. But just write down, I think, and I don't want to speak for the whole board, but just to try to put it on something concrete, if there's a safety concern, it was mentioned, if that's reviewed, if you can get a survey and a better detailed drawing, that's what we're asking. So when you speak to your attorney, just let him know that was our inquiry. So he knows what we're asking for, that's all.
Well, so going back to the first meeting we had, the only thing that was objective was that back sewer line. That was the only objection. So from that last meeting, when I came away, the question was that easement in the back, it's going to be too close to the foundation. Can you show us that it's
Okay.
not? And it turns out that that's
Yes.
still not a
Right,
legitimate.
okay,
And now we got new
Vitaly,
issues.
Vitaly, you said that already, but no, I wasn't here. But Norm, were you here 2 weeks ago?
I was.
Did you make the same statement 2 weeks ago?
Would you repeat that, please?
Did you
It
make the
was
same
4 weeks
three-pointed
ago.
argument about the build thought that you made tonight? Did you make that same argument the last time you visited with us?
I made the safety issue last
Okay.
time.
All right. And Paul, what about the other woman that was on board? Did she make the same statement last time, or was that no?
Actually, I'm not sure that Ms. Dondoros talked to us last time, but there was something was read in from her husband, I believe.
Well,
Okay.
Son.
I mean, the bottom line is we have the minutes of the meeting. Wendy has the minutes of the meeting. And
Right.
again, certain things are being said that we said, but there are minutes of the meeting which outline everything that we said.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. There are. And I know that was what was requested for this meeting, and I addressed that. That was the one concern that was left over that wasn't addressed in the last meeting.
Well, you came across yeah, I came across, but
Go ahead.
your understanding was all it was missing was talk about that water line, and that's not quite true.
On the last meeting, that was the one thing that you guys wanted to address.
Well,
we got past the other pieces of the hardship. We got past everything else, and I asked you at the last meeting. We can look at the notes.
Hardship. You haven't given us a
We haven't
hardship.
talked about the hardship.
We're still
Hardship
waiting
is
for a hardship.
defined at- That's what
As
if
far
you
as
look at the definition of
topography,
the
that land is
hardship,
perfectly flat.
it's structured. If the land is if a lot is created a certain way, that is a
No.
hardship in itself. That
Topography
is
is
one of the
nothing.
definitions of a hardship.
It
Got
certainly is.
confirmed.
Oh.
5248. Of course, no Democrats voted.
It's a grandfathered lot
No, it's
that,
not.
well, we're not gonna get anywhere with that piece of it. But and again, going back to it, a lot of the same people that are in this room approved that back then. And like we said, I think we all agree the only thing that changed is that 2 feet from that in terms of the style of the home that shouldn't be in the jurisdiction of this board.
Valley.
That's not typically part of it. But I said, if this is what you guys want to build, then that's what I'll build over there. I agreed to build that. It's, so
Yeah,
it's,
I know. Hey,
So do
Paul,
you want to continue once we get any of these things that Tom just laid out for you, or do you want to just let
Hello?
it pass?
hello?
You want to go after the board, the association, or do you want to? How do you want to proceed from here, Vitaly? Hello, Vitaly, you still there? Hello, I think Vitaly hung up.
Give him a minute. So if he gets a continuation, then he has to come back in a couple of weeks.
But
Whatever.
But Tom, he has to request it
Okay.
because otherwise we're going to run out of time on this.
he
And if
dropped
we Run out
out.
of time, it gets automatically approved.
Hey, Paul,
Yeah, I'm
Paul,
listening.
question for you or Wendy. If we go back to last meeting, right? It's on recording what we wanted, correct?
The whole meeting is recorded
Yeah.
anyway. And,
So we could go back to that and say, this is what we were talking about. Because the easement came into that play too, I'm sure.
yes, it was brought up last time. In fact, you read
Yeah.
the easement.
Not just the water line in the back. That was a concern, but the amount of land that was getting taken was a concern,
Right.
which changed the whole application in my mind.
So,
On two or three occasions, you asked him to give a survey of that lot because we didn't really know
Right.
where exactly that fit into that. And he had agreed to do that.
Oh.
And
There he is.
so,
There he is.
I just
Okay.
back.
Yep.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. You're back.
Yep.
All right, so you want a continuation or do you want to do something else?
Yeah, we'll do. I mean, it leaves me no choice here, so we'll do a continuation, and then we'll go from there. I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere with this, so I'll just leave it to the professionals. I just don't. I think I'm over my head with this. It's something doesn't seem right, and it didn't seem right the first time, and we'll go from there because this isn't right.
Okay, so you're requesting an extension. So, let's see, we meet again in what? Wendy, you still there? Wendy?
We meet on the 9th. We have something scheduled for the 9th already.
We have 2 meetings on the 9th already.
So we could add this as a third.
We can, yes.
Yep.
All right, that give you enough time, Vitaly?
Yeah, can we just clarify as far as what it is that the things that, just so we're on the same page, the 2 or 3 or 4 things that you guys were looking for, so I can relay that message as well. Do you want Mark Baglin here? I mean, Mark Baglin's a good friend of mine as far as he's done work for me in the past as well. So do you need me to ask him? I know he's the town attorney as well. So should I ask him to be present at this meeting? And
Good.
Huh?
You could.
does that help? And okay.
Well,
Vitaly,
I just don't know how much weight that has, or I don't know what I got to do here at this point, you know?
Isn't that a conflict of interest, Mr. Chairman?
I would say it is. If he's a town attorney, he can't very well sit on your side.
He's not going to be I mean, I'm not sure how that would handle. I
No.
guess he would represent. Well, maybe my attorney can send him something.
Yep.
Stay
So
in that
the-
part of the suit or whatever.
Vitaly, you quoted several people, the building inspector, Rob Levesque, an attorney. You quoted
Art,
several
yeah.
people and told us they told you all of this was okay. So
No.
what we need
I
to
didn't
do
say they
is
told
see
me.
that
I
in
said
writing.
they
Let me
told
just finish. What we need
Roger.
to do is see the things you told us in writing from those people that you quoted.
Okay, but some of those things, I'm not going to go run around and ask these people in writing. That's why I'm asking what it is. Some of these things are not.
I think, Mike, Vitaly, I think I kind of agree with you. Mike, that's kind of onerous, I think. I would
relevant. So.
You said, Vitaly, you quoted a lot of people and made a lot of statements, and Mike wants to understand where it comes from. But I think we're putting a lot on you here. So my opinion is, let's not ask for that. I think the real question is, what are the property lines?
The Mark Baglin piece, I agree.
Dimensional. You asked for a summary of what we asked you for, and I'm trying to say that.
Yeah.
I hear you say Mike there, but I just don't agree with that. But I think if you did have the best survey you can get your hands on, if you get a scale drawing, and if you could consider it because the neighbors are concerned. So those are the action items to you. What you choose to do with them, Vitaly, is up to you. We're just telling you what.
No.
The framework that would help you.
I know that's what you want. Is that now what? Obviously, there's more people on the board here that
Chris
they want
Bill
more things. So that's why.
You guys agree, or what do you guys think, Bill?
All the stuff that we've been asking for, like with the survey for one, to show where the impact of the new easement is. A safety agreement from somebody in the town, a safety officer. I don't know who that is right now, but because that addresses.
Maybe it's on record, Vitaly, from the last time. You know, it might be on record.
Right. And a scale drawing. Like Tom was saying, showing what you're going to build.
That's about 4 items.
Okay. So Paul, we need to.
It's in terms of the scale drawing. Just go ahead.
No, that's all right. Go
ahead. As far as the scale drawing, it's we all know the lot is 100 feet. Which part of that? And if you take the house and you add in this, it's 17 feet from Berkshire Ave, it's 51 feet, and then you got the remainder on the back end. What is it about it that, you know what the setbacks and the requirements is? The purpose of that, what is it that you're looking to see?
I
Is
think me
it what
personally,
it looks like?
I'll tell you, me personally, I think it's the front corner, the south westerly
The
corner.
17 feet from Berkshire Ave, correct?
Right. And the question is,
What's the 17 feet from Berkshire Ave? The house has to sit a lot further
Well,
back.
that's a
than that.
setback from Berkshire Ave. Let me just double check. I'm sorry, Mike.
The drawing
Let me
that you're pushing is, shows 30 feet.
All right.
You may be right. Let me just check that really quick. I might be.
Even you cited 30 feet a while ago.
hey, Bill,
I thought one of the things we discussed was that we would downsize that house and put a one-car garage versus the two-car
Fine with
garage
me.
with the raised ranch.
Anyway,
Yeah, in terms of that, that's fine with me. If that's what you guys think, then I'm okay with that.
so if you can come up,
I'm okay with changing things to accommodate what you guys think. That doesn't, I'm okay with that. It is what it is.
That's good, Vitaly, and that's where drawing comes in handy, because then we work with that. It's one of the tools we use. And you ask what's a concern, and it's the southwest corner, visibility impact, and we have to look at that and say, does this make sense, or what if we pulled 2 feet out of here and gave them a little more setback here, this or that, and it helps us work the problem. So that's important.
Yeah. So it is, you're right. It's 30 feet on Berkshire Ave. So, I mean, if, just to kind of give you, I know you guys want to see what that looks like, but if you park a typical car is about 16 feet deep. So if a whole car is standing at the stop sign and you're 30 feet, you can literally fit almost 2 cars before you have from perspective. I know you guys want to see what that looks like, but 30 feet is essentially 2 cars before, the third car won't get any visibility if there's 3 cars at that stop sign, but the first 2 will.
we, the board, will take responsibility to get the safety officer involved.
That's good, Paul. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
That's off your plate. You don't have to worry about that one, but we still want to see a survey of that piece of land and the easement that's been granted as part of the survey. So we need to see all that.
Okay, I can get that because it's going to be on record, and the town's going to have that because they have to have that to do the easement.
Okay.
Vitaly, you brought up the point.
We want the whole survey, not just the easement.
You brought up the point that there's something
you want me
going
to
on
pay
here
for what survey?
and that. And just to let you know, we just spent an hour and 15 minutes on your property trying to work with you to help you fit it in. If there was something going on, we would have just a long time ago voted on this and not allowed it to happen. But we're trying to work with you. And so when you are accusing us of being biased or whatever, I don't think that's warranted.
Well, Michael, explain to me how this got, when you guys did this before, right? And I understand, but I just, that's what it comes back to. What was different besides the 2 feet? I mean, 2 feet is on a 20-foot setback. That's not that significant. Let's be honest. I mean, it's not like the 2 feet, it's not like we're actually taking away part of the property. You just have an extra 2 feet of asphalt instead of 20 feet of lawn, you have 18 feet of lawn or whatever that may be, and I think that I feel like that's why the association granted that easement, because they probably thought that's not a big deal either to give that away as long as it doesn't affect buildability. And that's where my frustration comes in. I purposely, after talking to Rogers and the association and saying, look, that, and they marketed, I mean, they've paid taxes all these years. They paid for that sewer betterment fee, so their frustration is the same as mine. So they were under the impression, well, look, we did what our part is. It's a buildable lot because of the way we created it. So all these years is that they've paid for it. It's not fair to them the same way that, you know, and they were under the assumption that this is approved. Now we're going backwards, and we're getting to the point where if this doesn't get approved, it's like one lawsuit, then another lawsuit, and then there's more, you know, and I've never, you know, I've never even been a part of that. I hate that part of, you know, to me, that's just usually the only people that win in that is attorneys, and a whole lot of people waste a lot of time, you know. So I mean, I was hoping to avoid that, and that's why, you know, we're not, you know, I was hoping you guys would say, look, we don't like the size of the house. We think it's too far. Give us an extra 4 feet. Give us an extra 2 feet. That would, to me, that would be, you know, make it smaller than what you have approved. Don't make it 51 feet. You know, let's work, you know, together and make it 38 feet or 30 or 46 feet.
That's
You know,
up
make
to
the
you.
house a little bit smaller. Here, you know. What's that?
We're not gonna tell you make it 38 feet. That's up to you. You get to tell us what you think.
Well, I mean, just to make it comfortable so that you guys are comfortable, because at the end of the day, you guys have to be comfortable with approving
Well,
a
you gotta
certain
come up with a plan.
size house on that lot.
You gotta come up with a
Well,
plan.
I did come up with I did come up with a plan, and now that plan obviously doesn't work, but I need to know what you don't like about that plan. I need to know what you don't like about the dimensions.
Let's
And I'll work
approve
with you.
the
I'll make the dimensions
continuation
what you
and
guys
move
want.
on, please.
Yeah, let's move on. We have more things to discuss. So we're taking on the responsibility to talk about this to the safety officer. You've got the responsibility to come up with the plot plans, etc.
Okay. Of the lot, yes.
Yeah, the lot and the corner, etc. So, and you say that's all on file. That shouldn't be a problem for you.
Yeah.
So you dig up those items,
Okay.
go to the safety officer, and then we can talk again. And so we'll be talking. You're requesting a continuation for 2 weeks till the 9th of November.
Correct.
All right. So that
All right.
So we all agree then the motion is made to have a continuation. Does everybody agree?
Yes.
I agree. Aye.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
The ayes have
Thank
it.
you, gentlemen.
All right.
What
Thank
was
you.
the date again? I'm sorry. What was the date? What was the date?
November
again?
9th.
November 9th.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Good luck.
All right. Have a good night.
Okay.
Take care.
Boy,
Thank you all.
that's considerably longer than I thought it would be. All right, let me see what else we have here. Mr. Long, you're still with us, Mr. Long? Yes, I see you are. Okay. Hello?
Yeah, I am, but I'm getting scared.
Don't be. All right. Let me read this into the record here. It says on October 7th, please find below the legal notice for the following hearing for publication in the Westfield Evening News, School Street, Westfield, from the Board of Appeals, Town of Southwick, Mass, for release October 13th and October 19th, 2020. Notice is hereby given of a public hearing to be held Monday, October 26th, 2020, online via Zoom at 7:15. It's actually more like 8:30, to hear the petition of Daniel Long, 9 Wood Street, Southwick, Mass. The applicant is seeking a 44-foot, excuse me, a 44-foot front setback, a 20-foot, God, it's been too long, 20-foot rear setback and a 10-foot side setback in order to replace an existing house. Okay, Mr. Long, please. Tell us what's cooking here.
Okay, I bought the house last winter, and when I came up in the spring, because we live in Florida, we're trying to set up a house over here for when we get tired of Florida. And, yeah, right now I wish I was there. But I've rehabbed several houses in the past, and I thought I could bring this one back. Unfortunately, it was way too much damage. And so I decided to tear it down. And of course, I ran into several issues. I don't know if you guys are aware with the asbestos and vermicide. And So I decided to get it surveyed. I think I forgot what Kyle, I believe.
Kyle, yeah.
Yeah, town inspector. He said, gave me a heads up. He says, before you demolish the house, make sure you get it surveyed, get a plot plan of where the house is. So I went along with that, and I got the 4 pins put in. And one of my neighbors, very happy because come to find out that actually he owns about 6 feet on the back corner. That
You know he had.
yeah, didn't know he had, and I thought I had it, so I lost that 6 feet on the pie shade. My plan is to build a small raised ranch, and it's like I said, it actually would be 3 feet further from the road because I would turn it completely around, make it parallel to the road. And so he's giving me a 44-foot frontage rather than a 40. And the back would be, I don't have the plan with me. Do you guys have the plan there?
I have it.
Yeah, I have it, Dan, and I wanted to point out a little math there that you did. It might work in your favor. You have 100-foot deep lot, and you marked off 20 feet from the back line, a 26-foot house. That's 46 feet. So that leaves you 54 from the road, not 44.
Really?
Simple math.
So you would need less of a variance than you had originally asked for by 10 feet. Or you could maybe move the house up a little closer to the street to give you more in the back.
I kind of like the back because we can see the lake from the back.
Okay. Well, then your request for a variance in the front would be 10 feet less than what you applied for.
Girl,
10 feet less or more?
His
10 feet.
variance would be 10 feet less. The frontage would be 10 feet more. The
Well,
front
actually-
setback.
Actually, I wasn't applying for a variance for the front because the front was at 40 before.
Yeah, but it's still supposed to be 75.
Yeah. Yeah, if I followed the rules, I'd be minus 15 feet on my house.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of rules you're not following then, but we'll roll them all into one proposal, lot area, frontage, you don't meet any of the current bylaws, but you can't do anything about that. The only thing you can do something about is the position of the house, and you're making it less compliant. You're making it less non-compliant than what it was.
Yeah. The only thing is it'd be 10 feet away from both sides of the property on each side.
Correct.
yeah,
Whereas now it's 9 feet on one side, so the old house would be non-compliant there. So you're going to bring the two sides into compliance.
Yeah. Is compliant 10 feet? I thought it was more than that. I thought it was 20.
What zone are we
That's-
in?
zoning,
It's 10.
Oh,
10 in our 20.
or 20, yeah, okay, yeah, 10 foot.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
10.
Getting a bonus all the way around here.
I like that. That's a lot better. That's about it. I don't know what it is that
Is it, so, Dan,
Yeah.
it's 40 by 26 feet, I think. Is that right?
well, the footprint is going to be 40 by
26?
6, but the second story, the raised ranch, is going to be 28 by
Okay,
40.
okay. And is there a garage on this?
Pardon me?
Is there a garage included?
Yeah, that's going to be included underneath.
Which side?
The same side of the driveway right now,
I don't-
Right
we don't know
side.
what side that is.
on the left-hand side.
Okay,
I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in all this, guys.
Yep,
His back lot line is on Echo Street. It is a street. You're supposed to be 75 feet from a street.
The
So ponder that one.
My lot stops about halfway down the hill because the Echo Street is about 20 to 25 feet below me.
Steep drop, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's still another from the pin to the street has got to be about another, I'd say at least 15, 20 feet.
Oh, that's good to know. I mean,
Okay,
if
so,
we're going with the 20 feet, which is the actual, as I
Street
say,
line.
we're supposed to be looking at 75 feet from both streets. Even though it is your rear lot line, it's also on a street.
right,
But I think under the conditions, it's kind of hard.
Yeah,
There's
there
definitely
there are 4 comparable houses, the way that they're situated on that street. And then I
Yeah.
just quickly looked at them on the map, and they're all between 20 and 30 feet away from Echo. So, you
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
even though their address is on Wood Street, all their back setbacks to Echo are 20 to 30 feet.
Okay.
we're gonna have to put it in, that's all, Chris.
Yeah. Oh, okay, put it in as a 75, all right.
Yeah, because to Paul's point, we gotta have both counted for. So it's just gonna be a bigger setback off of Echo.
Okay.
Assuming you're close on that 20-foot, Chris, I mean, I know the street line is different, but if we use that template you're looking at, I think they're pretty close as far as how they're lined up.
Yeah.
So we could use that as a kind of reference line.
So where do we put the 10 feet? Did we decide where that should go?
What
That's
now?
He wants to leave that extra 10 feet in front. So he wants to be 54 setback from Wood Street, and he would be 20-foot setback from Echo.
Now, where does the pitch start? After your property, Dan, or?
Yeah.
Is it drop right off there?
I didn't hear. Could you say?
You said
Could you repeat?
a change of elevation between your property and Echo Street, and where does that pitch begin?
It begins actually about maybe 6 feet before my pin, and then it goes straight down. Well, not straight down, but at a very steep.
Substantial grade.
Your lot is level then, Dan?
Pardon?
Your lot is level?
Yes, my lot is level up to that about 6 feet from the pin in the back.
Yeah.
Well,
That's your topography hardship, Tom.
It's level. I measured. I lasered it the other day from the street to the end of the driveway was about 2.5 feet lower.
All right.
What was 2.5 feet? I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
From the street, actually, there's about a foot drop there. So from the street to the back pins, no, if with minus that 6 feet, if I could continue straight, it'd probably be about 4 feet altogether.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's like an embankment around that Echo.
Yep.
Okay.
The first part of the variance is that owing to the circumstance relating to soil conditions, shape, or topography of land or structure. So this certainly fits into that.
Oh, yeah, topography for sure. Okay. You got the 10 feet, so we really is a setback from each street, right, Chris, and then the lot size.
You need lot size, lot frontage, setback from Wood, and setback from Echo.
Okay.
So we have all those numbers?
Yes.
Yeah, I do if you want to
Yeah,
If you want to
go for it.
proceed.
Do we have more questions? Anyone?
I don't think so.
All right, go ahead, Chris, and let us know what's what here.
All right, I make a motion to grant the following variances to 9 Wood Street for the replacement construction of a home, a lot area variance of 34,000 square feet, a lot frontage variance of 90 feet,
Wow.
a front setback variance on Wood Street of 21 feet, and a front setback variance of 55 feet on Echo Street.
Chris, I have a little problem. So these are little lots. We know that. I mean, actually, 100 feet is not 100 by 60 is not that bad. But Dan, you were happy with being 44 feet from the road half an hour ago, and you found 10 feet, and you want to put it on the front yard. And I understand that, but I'll ask the board: is it better to balance this house more on the lot? In other words, I don't know what Echo Street holds for, it's close to Echo Street. It's 20 feet from Echo and 54 from Wood. Kind of the same street, right? I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, so I think the difference in my mind, Tom, is Echo Street, you drop down, so you're not on the road, and that Lakeside is behind Echo, not on Wood. And either one of these is gonna have a lot of traffic.
Okay.
They're down in a nestled area where there's not a lot of traffic.
So he wants to keep that shorter in the back so you get a better view of the lake. But if you were,
And because the
if you were
topography falls in his favor, I think that's okay.
if we were 30 feet from the back line, how would that upset your view of the lake, Dan?
Well, it would put my house closer to the road than the neighbors.
Which is another point.
Which road?
Wood Street.
Wood Street.
That's where my driveway is.
So, Chris, if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned before on Echo, there's three houses that really sit back about the same
Yes.
Yeah.
off of Echo,
Yeah, they're between 20 and
Right.
28 feet.
which gives all those houses a view of the lake. That's why they did it.
I'm sure.
Whoever's got the print there, could
Yeah.
you tell me what the surveyor's dimension is from the front of the house to the street?
Um,
Well, you have written in 44 feet, but as I just went through the math, it's not, that's not accurate.
Okay, yeah, but what does the, hang on a second, let me get my print.
So, was this one wood frame? Of course, that was existing, right? And when we go to a non-conformal, when you deal with a non-conforming lot and you make changes to a house structure, Paul, the footprint of the existing house structure has some influence, right? I mean, that's supposed to actually, by the letter of the law, you're not supposed to change the footprint. Is that correct?
Have you got the drawing there for this?
On Wood Street, this one I got. And I'm
All right.
saying the original structure, and I'm not saying what's the right answer here, but the original structure was probably 10 feet closer to Wood than where these guys sketched it in.
It was
Right.
It was 40 feet. It was originally 40 feet.
So it's
Yeah.
14 right. So
That's
it's
what the drawing shows.
right. So Dan wants to go 14 feet deeper into the lot.
Well,
And-
no, I'm sorry. I'm not sure, but see what the 40 feet is there?
Yep.
40.3 as a matter of fact.
Yep.
Okay, that corner, that's to the corner because that house is at the 5-degree angle.
Yeah, right.
Okay, my intention is to go from the corner where it says 9'1" and go straight across. So I'm using pretty much the existing frontage that's there now.
Well, you don't show it that way on this drawing.
So Dan, wait a minute. If the 44 feet were used and it was originally 40.3, then you're kind of in the same place. But if the 44 goes to 54, now you're shoving it back 14 feet from the 43.
Yeah, no, that's not my intention. I don't know.
That's a question. I was asking why you're doing that. Why, if you stuck with the 44 and it was originally 40.3, well, you're close.
Could someone show me that?
Would be your 4 feet, your extra footage there, Tom, because of the angle of the house. You look on the right-hand side with this 9.1.
Yeah.
Dan, can you see that?
That's another couple of feet back. So that's the 44 feet.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So if I take 44 and I take 26 more for the house. That's 70 feet, right? And then you get 30 more in the back, but you get 30 in the back.
Yeah.
That's, which is what Chris had pointed out to begin with.
Right.
So I don't know, you sketched in the new house on top of the old house.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit further back than what you were just saying.
Could I see that? Could somebody show me that
Yeah.
sketch?
But
Mike had it up there.
but the back boundary of it is really not that much further away.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, you're not starting from that 9.1 corner.
Okay, yeah, I that's my mistake. I'm sorry about that. No, I was looking at the front of the house to be pretty much where the front of this house is now.
44 feet seems to be the number. That's a workable number. I don't know
Yeah.
where did that come from, Dan. Was that you? Did you write that down?
What's that?
Someone wrote over the print and added in a different pen or crayon.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, so, if you, that house that's there is 35 feet deep. Yours is only 26 feet deep. So if you bring it forward, that 10-ish, back to 44, you're really close to being, you've actually, like Chris said early on, you've actually improved the conformance of a non-conforming situation. So what I'm trying to get to, if you could go back to the 44, I would feel a lot better about this.
Oh, I see what you're saying, Tom. Yeah. So if that was situated where that corner is going straight across, push it forward, you'd balance it in the lot.
And that's where Dan said he wanted it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant to do. I don't know. I must have had a brain fart when I did that one.
That's okay. We liked it. But
That's why I said, well, no, I want to see that because that's not what I had in mind.
all right, so
Okay,
we have to do some calculations again here.
so we're talking 44 feet from the front, add 26 for the depth of the house.
It leaves 30,
That's a
it leaves
7.
30 in the back.
At least 30 in the back. Can
So you
live with
need
that, Dan?
45, right?
Right. So we need a front setback on wood of 31 and a front setback on echo of 45.
There you go.
Now, that's not including the steps to the entrance, right?
I'm sorry, Dan, couldn't hear you. You're breaking up.
I just he's trying to reach me here. Okay, sorry. That doesn't include this front step for
No,
to get to the house, right?
Not this, no steps, the basic
it's a foundation.
foundation of the house.
All right.
So you'd be 44 feet from the street in the front.
Yeah.
And you'd be 30 feet from the back
Rear.
line on
Echo line.
Yeah.
You still have, you still have a good view of the lake, I would think.
Yep.
There's
Okay.
nothing in your way.
All right, Chris, we got to reread that.
I think it's better.
Okay, take two. I make a motion to grant the following 4 variances to 9 Wood Street for the construction of a replacement home. Lot area variance of 34,000 square feet, a lot frontage variance of 90 feet, a front setback variance on Wood Street of 31 feet, a front setback variance on Echo Street of 45 feet.
Bingo. I'll second that.
Now, gentlemen, well,
Go ahead.
question. After I build this, I want to put a porch in the back. Up there. Should that have been included in this, or just apply for it later?
You should have come to us with that porch in the back, but you'll have 30 feet now to be able to put the porch, so that's going to be help. But you're going to have to come back for that.
Yeah,
Right.
you'll have to reapply. You'll have to apply again for another variance.
Okay.
All right, so I second the first motion that Chris read, or second motion.
The second motion. All right, gentlemen.
Oh, wait a minute. What do we do for the next hour?
Yeah.
Good
We can
idea.
hash around the other one if you like.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Paul. Call for vote.
All right, so Oh, well, I guess we could just ask all in favor.
Aye,
That's everybody. Like,
yes,
I didn't catch all the voices. We'll do it on a roll call. How's that? We'll do Bill Liss,
aye,
Chris.
Aye.
Okay, Mike.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and Tom.
Aye, good.
aye.
All right, and I concur. So it looks like you're in good shape, Dan.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, gentlemen.
Sorry you had to have long of yours.
I'm sorry it was so short.
Yeah, now I
Oh.
can feel it. Go back to Florida.
You got a 20-day waiting period though, so just let them know.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, as Bill just pointed out, we have to submit this to the clerk's office, and they will sit on it for 20 days to see if anybody comes along to complain. I can't see why, but you never know.
Yeah,
And-
the neighbors are pretty happy about seeing the old house gone.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Oh, I bet.
I don't think there'll be a problem. So at the end of that 20 days, she'll give it back to us. We will send you the original. You'll have to take it to the Registry of Deeds. And I understand that you have to go to Springfield. You can't go to Westfield. And then Springfield will say you can't come in. You'll have to mail it. Well, it's a lot of fun these days.
Aye. Okay,
All right.
I'll follow your lead.
Well, we're doing what we got to do too. So, all right.
All right,
Dan.
Dan.
Have a good
Good luck.
evening. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
a
Dan.
lot.
Okay, who's still on? Anybody?
I'm here.
I see David. Who? There's somebody David on here, so who's muted.
No, he's gone.
He's gone now.
We scared him away.
And go to the bottom of your screen and you can
He's
see it.
gone.
We'll hang up.
There we go.
Yeah, Wendy took him out.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well,
Everyone got taller.
what's that?
I said everyone got taller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said the camera adds 15 pounds, Mike, so.
All right. Well, his thing is we don't have any more business for tonight. Wendy did send us something about the next project that we'll be discussing on the 9th. Something on Shagbark.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and also Feeding Hills,
Mark, yeah.
Comark. So we have those documents so we can at least check them out and be prepared for them. Okay, with nothing else, I've got no more information except I still don't know how to get on Zoom. So,
So I got a motion to adjourn?
Seconded.
I second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Night,
Night,
gentlemen.
gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Good
Night, Wendy.
Okay. And then we have Tommy. So Wendy, there's you and I and Tommy up here yet?
No, he's gone.
All right, there's just you and I. Okay.
Yeah.